Guys, welcome back. In the previous video, we had shown you how to pull up an image and how to run a container from the image which we have pulled and how the container isolation works. Now, in this particular workshop, in this exercise, we will talk about how do you commit a Docker image from a container. And the second way is how do you write a Dockerfile to create a Docker image. And then we will talk about images and then layers and caches. So a couple of things. Yeah. Now the first thing is I'm using the same machine. Now if you type Docker images, I don't have. Okay, I have something here. I'm gonna remove this Docker RMI CDB. Okay, Docker images. Okay, and Docker PS. I don't have Docker PS-A. Okay, I don't have anything. If you're following my exercise from the last workshop, if you want to remove Docker RMI and then you just mention the image ID, you remove one by one. And also if you want to remove the image by force, you mention the image ID and you put -f. Okay, that will remove all the images. And the same thing goes with the containers as well. Docker RM, and then you mention the container ID or container name, and then you just type -f. Okay, cool. Now I'm going to type another command. I'm going to spin up another container. So Docker container run, and this is going to be -interactive, and this is going to be Ubuntu. I'm going to choose Ubuntu image. When I say Ubuntu image, what happens is it will go and it will try to pull from here, because if you see this Docker images, I don't have anything local. So Docker container run, and then interactive Ubuntu, and then bash. When you type it, see, it's just trying to unable to find image Ubuntu locally. It will try to pull from the Docker hub. The pull is complete. It's downloaded. And if you see the prompt here, I'm in the EC2-user, but now I'm in the container, inside the container. Okay. Now if you type ls, you'll get all the container things and all coming up. Cool. Now what is the next one? So the next one is you're inside the container, guys. Remember that. Yeah. Now we're gonna install some software inside this container. Okay, so for that, this is a Ubuntu machine. So apt-get, I'm gonna update the container. Okay, so that is done. Now after that, I'm gonna install. There is a software called Fidget. I don't know how many people knows this, but I'll tell you what it is. I'll show you this. Okay, I'm going to install a software called Fidget. So just install this. Yeah. Now if you type Fidget and then if you type hello Samir, see, you're getting in a different font. Fidget. Welcome back. Welcome. See, Fidget. My name. Something like this. So Fidget is a command. I mean, it's an app, it's a software, it's a small application where you can see in a colorful. This is just for testing purpose, guys, nothing else. Okay, now this particular container is having the Fidget software installed. Agreed, right? Now if you want to show that, just exit out. Okay, you're back to the EC2 instance. So here if you say Docker images, okay, Ubuntu is there. If you type Docker PS, nothing is running. But if you type Docker PS-A, this is a container where we have installed our Fidget command. So this is a container where we have installed, copy, Control V. So this is where we have installed Fidget. Perfect. Now what's happening here is the next one, what I'm planning to do is just to show you, I want to get into the container again. Okay, so combining my previous workshop also, I think we have used some command called docker exec, if you remember. Okay, cool. So let me do this. Docker, first you have to start this container, docker start, and then F7B. Okay, enter. Now if you type docker ps, So this one will come here. It's in running. It's up for 2 seconds. Now you want to get inside the container. How will you get inside the container? Yeah. So for that, docker container exec, okay, and then -it. It should be interactive. Then you just type the container ID F7B. Okay, then if you type enter, let's see what happens. Okay, I think one argument is missing. So docker container exec -it F7B, and then you just type bash. Okay, now you're inside the container now. Now if you type fidget hello, it should work, because in this container we have the fidget software installed. Agreed? Everyone are on the same page now. Now what we're gonna do here is I'm gonna exit it out. I'm gonna exit out now. Okay, so you're back to the EC2 user. So if you type docker space images, so you will see the Ubuntu things are coming up. Okay, now the next thing is there is a command called docker space container space commit. Okay, now docker space container space commit, and then the commit ID, I mean container ID. So for that, if you want to know what is a container ID, yeah, this is a container ID. Okay, so docker space container space commit space, and then the container ID is F7B. Enter. Now if you type docker space images, see this, you got an image created, and this image is having the fidget. This is the container. From this container, okay, see this, docker space container space commit is a command, and we committed. When you say commit, which means from the running container or from the container, you're creating an image, and that is what happened here. This command, what it does is, this command created an image using this container thing, and now we got the image now. But this image does not have any image name. It just says none, and tag is none, only it has got the image ID. Okay, now what we're gonna do here is we're gonna tag it. Tag it means you're gonna give some name to this. Okay, for that I'm gonna give docker space image space, and then you need to give the tag name, tag, and then the image ID. So what is the image ID? This is the image ID. Okay, cool. Now once you ping the image, yeah, so what happens is you have to use docker space image space and then the tag name, and the tag is the keyword, and then you have to do the image ID. Okay, so either you just type D2C, the first 3 letter, and then what is the new name you want to give to this particular thing. Okay, so maybe I'll just give like our fidget. Now if you type docker images, see this, so now we got this, our fidget has been changed, and the tag name, if you don't give anything, so for example, let me copy this and then I'll show you in a notepad++. So here if you see this, okay, if you type something like version 1, then here you will get version 1. If you don't give anything after this this one, it's as equal like this. Okay, this is also same like docker image tag D2C our fidget. Both are same, remember that. Okay, cool guys, so we got our image, we named it, that is also fine. Okay, now the next thing is how do you run a container using this image? Yeah, so we got this image. Now how are we gonna run the image? Now for that, docker container space run, after that you have to mention your image name. Okay, this is the image name, our fidget. Okay, or you just give run, or you can give this ID, anything is fine. Yeah, so I just gave our fidget docker space container space runner, and then I'm giving the command fidget hello. So now see, it just starts the container, it just executes this command, and then it gives the output, and the container will exit out. If you type docker ps, okay, this is the Ubuntu bash which is running already, but if you type docker ps -a, see this, the fidget hello, it got exited out. Okay, cool. Let me do one thing, let me stop this docker stop F7B. I don't need this Ubuntu running. Okay, cool. Now if you type docker ps, you don't have anything. Docker ps -a, you got two things, which is exited out. Now I want to do again. So docker space images. Okay, docker space container space run space. I'm gonna use my this one, our fidget as an image. This is the image name, right? This is the image, and then I'm gonna type fidget Samir, something like this. See, Samir has come up like this. Now if you type docker ps-a, you will get the third one, fidget Samir, which is exited out, and this is the name. So this is the this is the first way of creating a Docker image using the commit command. If you remember, we did the commit command right before that. Yeah, we did something like docker space container space commit. I will mention all those commands in the GitHub in the repo, so you can always refer to that. Yeah, now the second way of creating a Docker file, yeah, that is what very important. So I will just use that. So here we go. For that I have to create a file. I already have a sample code which I'm going to copy it. 1 minute. So this is the sample code which I have it. Okay, I'll just explain you about this code, what exactly this does, so you don't need to worry about it. Yeah, so here okay, cool. vi index.js, this is a JavaScript file, and then right click and then paste as plain text. Okay, and then shift z. So if you type cat index.js, okay, so we got this file. And now I will show you how to create a Docker file out of this. Yeah, so vi space Dockerfile, and then the first thing is from. So always the keyword should be in capital. So I'm choosing the Alpine OS as a base, and then I'm going to use run apk, and then update ampersand apk add. I'm adding this repository node.js. Now copy /app. So I'm copying the current index.js into the app folder inside the container, and the work directory. Yeah, this is inside the work directory. This is where all the things are will be running, and this is a command. cmd is the keyword for the Docker file. Okay, where it will execute the what is the file you want to execute. So I want to execute node and then this is the JS command, JavaScript file. Okay, now shift zz. So we have, if you type ls-lrt, so we got Docker file, and also we have index.js. Yeah, now so the file which we just created, it is a JavaScript code, okay, for our server. Okay, so what exactly this does is, if I want to see this cat index.js, what exactly this does is, this will just simply print out a hello message. That's it. Hello from and the particular host name. That's it. Yeah, now we are going to Dockerize this application by creating a Docker file. That is what we have done. So if you see my Docker file here, so we are using the base image as Alpine. That is a base operating system, and we are adding a Node.js runtime. Okay, and then we are copying our source code, whatever is there in current directory. So what is the current directory? This is a current directory. See this, inside the current directory we have index.js. So whatever is there, we are copying this, and then we are moving into the app folder inside the container. Okay, and also we are specifying the default command, okay, to be run upon container creation. When a container is getting created, this command should default run. When I say this command, yes, the index.js file will default run, and it will tell you hello from and then the particular host name. Okay, so this is what we are doing this. Now what is a command to build an image? It's very simple, guys. So docker space image space build -t is for tagging. So I'm just giving hello version 0.1. Okay, so hello is the image name, and after just a tagging. I'm just giving version 0.1. okay, and then you have to give a dot. So dot means when you give the dot, which means it will look for the Docker file in the current directory. Okay, so if you don't give a dot, if you type this, you will get an error. So docker space image space build -t hello version 0.1 and then dot. Now see what exactly this happens, you will understand. Okay, let me copy this entire thing. Okay, right click, copy, and then go here. See this. So docker image build and then -t, and this is the image name which I have created, and dot means where your Docker file is. Okay, and now it's just sending the build context to Docker daemon. Docker daemon is nothing but it's a background service of Docker. Okay, step 1/5. What is the step 1/5? From Alpine. So if you see this, if you see cat Dockerfile, see this. Yeah, from Alpine is the first step. Okay, so from Alpine is the first step. It's just pulling from the library and its pull is complete. Downloaded newer image from Alpine latest, and this is the ID. Okay, after that step 2/5. What is the step 2/5? See, run apk update and apk add node.js. So run apk update and apk add node.js, and this is running, and this is doing all the works of everything. And then scroll down. So here, okay, removing intermediate container, all these things are done. Now step 3/5, what is the step 3/5? It is copy./app. So copy./app, that is also done. And then work_dir/app, that is also done. And step 5/5, and this command is also done. Everything successfully built, and this is a Docker image which we got, and we got a tag also. Okay, so this is how it done. Now if you type Docker images, you will get the hello version 1.1. See, about a minute ago, which is the 52.8 MB. So this is how easy it is to have a Docker image created using a Docker file. Now, how can you start a container, whether our code is working fine or not? So it's simple. So just say Docker container run hello version 0.1. so this is the image name, right? Or you can give image ID also, anything is fine. So if you do this, it should give a message like hello from, this is the host name. This is a container. Inside the container we have a host name, right? So this is a host name, we got it, hello from. Now how we are getting this is because if you open the Docker file here, so as I said, as soon as somebody is initiating a container, okay, or running a container, then they should get this hello from things. How will you get it? Cat, if you open cat index.js, see this, hello from host name. This is what we got it here, hello from host name. Okay, so this is the beautiful of Dockerfile. We have various commands inside the Dockerfile, guys. Okay, so what we have done here is just to give you a background of it. So we created two files. Yeah, one is our application code, which is index.js. It is a simple bit of JavaScript. See, it's just a simple bit of JavaScript code that just prints out the message, and then a Docker file. Okay, and the Docker file, which will have instructions for Docker engine just to create a custom container. So what this Docker file did was, it just specifies the base OS image, which is nothing but our Alpine, and then it runs two commands. Okay, one is the apk update and the other one is the apk add, which is just downloading the node.js server. Then it just copying the files which are there in the working directory to the container. That is done. Okay, and then anyways, currently if you see, we have only one file, the application file, which is we called as index.js. And then we have mentioned the work directory. So work directory, this directory we should use when it starts up. That's it. Okay, and finally the last line is, okay, we gave our container a command to run when the container starts. So whenever the container starts, please execute this command. So that is what we're gonna we have mentioned these things. So how beautifully we have created this Docker images. See, Docker images. So we call this hello colon version 0.1. Okay, so if you want to create another same thing, what you can do, see Docker build image -t, and then you give hello colon version 0.2, and then if you type dot, okay, Docker build okay, what's the command, 1 minute, control or Docker image, okay, Docker build, okay, 1 minute guys. Docker build, right? Docker build, okay, Docker build -help. So you can also check this Docker build -help, and then -t, yeah, Docker build -t, and then you just give the name of it, so hello colon version 0.2, then dot. See this? Now I want you to understand something, yeah. So this command, right, the one which we executed now, and we gave something like version 0.2, and I'm opening in my notepad, just see, understand the difference, yeah. So this is one thing which we executed the first time, version 0.1, and then I'm going to execute this one. Okay, see the difference here. What exactly happened? First time when you executed the image, it took long time. It just did all the pull, all the push. You can always compare it, understand many things. But if you second time when we did it, it was so fast. It was very, very fast. Okay, so I would suggest you just to go with that. Maybe I'll try to compare this plugins, first compare, and then this one, plugins, compare, and then compare. Okay, see this? So what happened here is from Alpine, and then we got this. Okay, and run APK is done. Okay, and then using cache. Okay, step 3 by 5, we're going cache. Okay, cool. So what I wanted to tell you is, when you're creating an image again second time, it's not taking that much time because everything is cached. So if you see everything, whatever images you're building, everything is under layers. See, each and everything is creating one image layer ID. See, step 1 we got an image ID like this. Step 2 we got an image ID like this. Step 3 this. Step 4 this. Step 5 this. Steps, and so on and so forth. Yeah. And if you want to see the image, okay, Docker images, if you put, you got hello version 1 and hello version 0.2, which we did it now. Now there is something called Docker image history. Remember this, Docker image history, and then image ID. If you type this, okay, copy and then paste it. See, these are all the layers of image IDs have been created for this particular things. See this? Add cmd apk copy work directory and then the cmd. Yeah. So basically images will be working with the layers. So layers are an important concept. Okay. So in order to do this, we will go through another set of exercise. Okay. So what we will do here is, just for this just for this demo, I want to perform a couple of things. So I don't want this hello colon version 0.2. I just want to remove it. Docker images. Okay, so far we have hello version 0.1 is there. Now in order to explain you about these layers and the concept, so let's do this. Yeah, so the first thing is so we have this index.js, right? So we are index.js. Okay, I want to add a couple of things here, so I'll just copy this. So let me put it in a notepad. Okay, so here we go. Right click, paste as plain text. So I just added console.log like this. This is version 0.2. So let me delete this echo command. Okay, perfect. Okay, let me delete this also, X and X. Okay, perfect. Should ZZ cat index.js, just making sure that the code is perfect. Yeah, console.log. So I'm adding a line like this is version 0.2. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to build an image again, docker image build -t, and then hello version 0.2, version 0.2. So here if you see this, okay, I'm doing something wrong. Yeah, what is it wrong is I'm just missing the dot at the end. That is the wrong thing. Now if you see this, yeah, same thing, hello version 0.2 is built. Now if you see docker images, hello version 0.2 is done. Now see the difference again. So difference is if I scroll down and then copy, and then if you go here, okay, now I want to compare it again. So plugins compare, set as first to compare, and then plugins compare, and then compare. Okay, so what I'm trying to say here is so just see the build steps here. Okay, everything it says using cache or using cache, something like this. Okay, see this, from Alpine we're getting this. Okay, and then it says run apk run using cache. So using cache means what? Using cache means something is already there in the image. You don't need to do the same thing again. You don't need to run it again. You just use the same cache ID which was before on this one. See this on the left side? So that is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, but here if you see copy./app, no, this is not using cache, because this is a new thing, index.js we have modified. We have added another line and it's creating a new ID. Okay, so that is what I want to talk about is, okay, so Docker, what it does is it will just recognize that whatever we have already built, some of these layers are already there in our earlier image builds, and since nothing had changed in those layers, it just simply use a cached version of that layer. That's it, rather than pulling down the code a second time, which is a waste of time, okay, and running those steps. So Docker's layers management is very helpful, okay, when we are patching the systems or upgrading to the latest version of code. So it is so intelligent enough to build the container in the most efficient way possible. So that's what I want to talk about, this cached thing. Okay, so remember that, guys. So this is very, very important. Understand this. So let me go back. Here. Cool. So this is perfect. So this is done. Now the next thing is we are not talk about image and image inspection. Okay, so what do you mean by image inspection? Yeah, now let me see docker image pull Alpine. So if you type docker images, so you got something called Alpine is there. Okay, now let's do something, docker image inspect and then Alpine. If you do this, okay, perfect. So what do you get? What do you guys got it now? Let me copy this, and then if you open here, okay, I don't want this. Copy, okay, control and control V. Okay, see this. Okay, docker image inspect Alpine. Okay, this is the SHA 256 ID, and this is Alpine latest tag, and this is scroll down and when it was created. Okay, and this is the configuration. Okay, we don't want these things, image, and this is the image. Okay, this is a docker version, and scroll down, and this is the image, and the architecture is on AMD 64, OS is Linux. This is a graph driver name. Okay, so what exactly this gives you is this gives you a complete picture of what exactly this image is all about. Yeah, so for example, how many layers there is. For example, here it says just layers. Yeah, so how many layers? It has got only one layers. That's it. Okay, and what are the storage drivers we are using? See, this there is something called overlay 2, which we will talk about it in some time. Yeah, and what kind of architecture or operating system this image, this alpha and OS is, and what is the metadata of the image. Yeah, these many things we will get when we are using when we execute this command docker space image space inspect space alpine. Yeah, now this is okay because alpine is just a small base OS image, so we got only one layer. But if you're going for something else, say for example, if you're going for do we have Ubuntu Docker images? Yeah, Ubuntu is there, right? Okay, let's talk about Ubuntu. Yeah, so docker space image space inspect space Ubuntu. If you do that, let's see what happens. So even for Ubuntu also we got only one layer. Yeah, that's okay. Now let's talk about other one. Okay, docker space image space inspect space hello colon version 0.2. Okay, see, we got 3 layers. Yeah, so it keeps increasing. And let's see something else. Docker space images, docker space image image space inspect space our fridgelet. It has got 2 layers, right? So yeah, that's all about images and the layers thing. So what we have to take from this video's workshop is you need to understand what is layers. Okay, so layers is nothing but every Docker image is built from a series of layers. So each layer represents one instruction based on your Dockerfile. Okay, that is one thing. The next one is Dockerfile. What is Dockerfile? Dockerfile is just a text file that contains all the commands, okay, in order to build a given image. Okay, and we will talk about volumes maybe in the next video or in the next workshop. Yeah, so that's all about it, guys. Okay, let me tell you one more thing. Maybe since we have seen this, what I'm planning here is I think there is another one. Let me go back. Beginners Samir. If you go back to Kubernetes My Learning, and there is something called 29 July. If you go, yeah. Okay, this is going to be interesting. This is really going to be interesting. Let's do this now. Okay, cool. I'm going to create a directory. Yeah, so Python file. So cd Python file. Perfect. This one is LRT. Great. If you go back here, and I'm gonna create this file. This is a Python program. Okay, hello from Flask import, and yeah, you will eventually come to know what is this program all about. Yeah, so copy, and I'm gonna give vi. This is the Python hello world, right? So hello world.py. Yeah, so right click and then paste as plain text. Okay, perfect. So this is done. So it says that. Now if you type cat hello world.py, okay, we got the Python file. Now okay, do I have Python here? Yeah, Python is there. Perfect. Now if I want to execute this Python 3 and then hello world.py, okay, it says Flask is missing. Now what will you do? You will pip3 install Flask. Okay, so I am going to institute okay, Flask is installed now. Okay, Python 3 hello world.py. Now this program is running. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect it again in a different session. Okay, Now curl http :// localhost 8080. If you do that, see hello from container world. How? Because this program is running. Yeah, now see, you're getting an entry like this. If you do this entry again, see, 2 times, you'll get 2 times. Yeah, this is one thing. Now this is a Python program. Yeah, I just want to exit it out. So if you do this, this is a plain Python program which will get the request and then response. If somebody pings, it'll respond. Yeah. Now in the previous just 15 minutes back, we tried to dockerize a JavaScript file. Now we will try to dockerize a Python file. So for that, I'm going to create a Dockerfile, vi space Dockerfile. So I think I already have this program called, this is the Dockerfile which I have from Python. I'm using this image 2.7-on build. I'm exposing the port 8080 and then cmd python hello world.py, and here I want to change it to something else, python hello world.py. Okay, let me see what is the file I have. Okay, that's it. Is it a hello world.py? Okay, hello world.py. Okay, so if you see cat Dockerfile, is it hello world.py? No. Okay, maybe I'll just do like this: vi hello world.py into python hello world.py. Okay, ls minus lrt. So python hello world.py. Perfect. Now we got a Docker file, and what is this Docker file? Docker file is just get the base image from Python 2.7 on build. Now what is this? If you go here, if you type Python, okay, sorry, copy, paste it here. Okay, maybe I'll just select the Python here, go Python, and then tags. And then I will look for 2.7 here, 2.7, yeah, 2.7 on build, right? So let me search like this. Okay, maybe I'll search like this. See, 2.7 on build, huh? So it gives the so we are taking this as a base image and then exposing 8080 and cmd and execute this command. Yeah. So how do you, what is the command you have to run now? So the command you need to run like this: docker build -t and then give some local name. This will build the image locally. Yeah. So let's do that. So docker build -t. And then my first Python, that's the image name, and dot. Now see, the image is getting, we are just dockerizing the application. Yeah. Okay, so there is a problem here. So what is the problem here is, the problem is copy fail, file not found in build or excluded by Docker requirements.txt file does not exist. So for Python, we need something called requirements.txt. So vi, so I'm just typing Flask here. We need Flask for this. So now if you type docker image build, and then if you type it, it should work. Okay, now if you type docker images, see, we got my first Python and then latest. Okay, now what we will do is, let me try to run the container. Yeah, docker run, docker container run. Then I'm going to give some name for the container, Python container, something like this, and then -p. Maybe it's too early for this port mapping, but I'll just tell you, I'll just just come along with my flow. -p is nothing but port mapping. So we call it as a port address translation, PAT -p. So 8080 is my host port and container port is 8080, and then I'll talk about these things maybe in the next couple of videos. Don't worry, just come along with me, guys. And then what is the image name? The image name is my first Python. Yeah, so let's see what happens. Okay, now see, now what I'm going to do here is, from this, if I type curl http //localhost : 8080, see, hello from container world. Why? Because this container is running and I'm getting the hit. So curl http // again, if you type, again if you run this command, see this, getting 2 entries, and it is the container. Control C, if you have docker ps, see, docker ps -a, the containers that have exited out. See, but now if you type curl http, you will not get a message. So we, in this exercise, we try to dockerize a JavaScript application, and also we try to dockerize a Python application. Yeah, we will talk about more on the port mapping maybe in next couple of videos after. So that's all it for today, guys. Yeah, thank you.